Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to find missing sides of right triangles using the tangent ratio. So we're going to be doing more complex problems using what we discussed in the first video about the tangent ratio. You remember from the first video that tangent is defined as the opposite over the adjacent side when we're looking at an angle within a right triangle. So we're going to use that to find missing sides of right triangles. The way we're able to do this hinges on the fact that every angle has its own tangent ratio that never changes. Because of this, we're able to use this to find missing sides of right triangles. Before we begin this section in more detail, we need to make sure our calculators are set to the proper settings. So if you have your TI-84, make sure you go to Mode, which I have highlighted here in red, and then make sure not radians, but degree is highlighted. Radians are another way of measuring angles, but for our purposes, we're just going to be working with degrees. So again, go to Mode, and then make sure on the third line down, degree is highlighted in black, not radians. Once you have completed that, you can hit the second button and then Mode again to get out of there and get back to the home screen. You might notice that on this kind of fourth line down, you have these three buttons in the middle, SIN, COS, and TAN. Tangent, this is what's going to allow us to find the tangents of any angle we choose. So if you just hit that button tan and type in an angle measure, it will give you the decimal, but it will still give you the tangent ratio for whichever angle you choose. Let's do an example where we're able to use the tangent ratio to find a missing side of a right triangle. Before now, we needed to know 2 out of the 3 sides of a right triangle to be able to find the third, and we would do that using the Pythagorean theorem. However, if I know 2 sides in an angle of a right triangle, I can find the missing side. And the way I can do that is by looking at this angle. If I notice, compared to this angle, this 11 is the side opposite that angle, and this x is the side adjacent to it. I know that tangent ratio is opposite over adjacent. So I know that the tangent of angle A has to equal the ratio of the opposite side to the adjacent side. But I know what angle A is. That's 32 degrees. My calculator can actually give us the specific tangent ratio for 32 degrees. If I go to my calculator and type in the tangent of 32, it tells me that is 0.625, and we're going to make sure we're rounding to 3 decimal places here. And now this just turns into an equation I can solve through cross multiplying. I can put the 0.625 over 1 and then cross multiply. And so I'm able to find x by dividing both sides by 0.625. And I end up with 17.604. We're going to round to 3 decimal places. So I'm able to set up the tangent ratio because it's opposite over adjacent. I'm able to use my calculator to figure out what the tangent of that specific angle is and cross multiply and solve. Let's do another problem together. I have this angle right here, and I have this side 13 and this side x. I want to make sure I label how the sides relate to the angle. This 13 is opposite that angle 64. This x is adjacent. I know that tangent ratio is opposite over adjacent, so I know that the tangent of 64, the tangent of that angle, has to equal the ratio of the leg opposite to it to the leg adjacent to it. Then I'm going to use my calculator to find, well, what is the tangent of 64? That gives me 2.050. turns into a proportion I can solve. I can just put 2.05 over 1, cross multiply, and then find my answer by dividing 13 by 2.05. My answer is 6.341. Take a moment to solve this one on your own. So we're going to begin this problem by labeling the sides. This x is opposite the 26-degree angle we're given. This 10 is adjacent to it. And we can write our tangent ratio. The tangent ratio of an angle is the leg opposite to it divided by the leg adjacent to it. I'm going to use my calculator to figure out what the tangent of 26 is. That gives me 0.488. Put it over 1. Cross multiply, and this one's a little bit different because I'm actually done, because I get 0.488 equals 1x. That's all I need. Right? So hopefully this gives you an idea of how to use the tangent ratio to find missing sides of a right triangle.